देख सकते हो. Okay, the topic for today is a quadratic equations. Yeah, in terms of SAT, it is known as quadratic functions. So number one is general form of quadratic equation. General form. So general form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So each coefficient in the equation represents a specific condition. This a represents the shape of the graph. If a is positive, then the graph would be a happy face. If a is negative, then the graph would be a downward graph, or in simple words can be known as a sad face. Whereas C is your y-intercept. Now this is the point when your curve cuts the y-axis, and at the y-intercept x is always equivalent to 0. Now what about B? Now each curve has a point of symmetry, or also known as the turning point. Now this is known as turning point, vertex, point of symmetry. Now, as every point on the graph have two coordinates, the x-axis, the x coordinate, and the y coordinate. So if I need to find out the turning point of my curve, so I have to find out the two coordinates. So one is x coordinate and the y coordinate. Now to find out the x coordinate of the turning point, that is equivalent to minus b upon 2a, right? And for the y coordinate, this is equivalent to 4ac minus b square upon 4a. So as I can see, if there's an equation, it says x square plus 13x plus 36 is equivalent to 0, right? Now, can you tell me the values of a, b, and c in this equation? What is the value of a?
1,
Right, exactly. So a is equivalent to 1. And what is the value of b?
13,
13,
What is the value of c?
36.
Right? Now, if a question comes up and is asked, you can find out the find out the coordinates of the turning point of the given equation, which is x square plus 13x plus 36 is equal to 0. So what you want to do is, you can just simply find out the x coordinate by the simple formula, which is minus b upon 2a, right? So in this case, b is 13, the minus b would be minus 13, and 2a is simply 2. So we'll end up with a negative 6.5 as an x coordinate, right? Now for the y coordinate, what you can do is, this is 4, a is 1, c is 36, minus b square, that is 13 square, upon 4, what is a? A is 1. Now can you use your calculator to find out this answer? What is the y coordinate of this turning point? 36 times 4 would be 144, minus 13 square is 169 upon 4. So we'll end up with negative 25 upon 4, which is again equivalent to 12.5. 12.5 ka half is negative 6.25. Okay? So these are my x and y coordinate of the turning point. Any
Yeah.
confusion now? Uh, Anshi, were you asking something?
No, no.
Okay. So now, if the equation is given in the general form, and you need to find out the turning points of the curve, you can just simply find it through this simple formula, which is minus v upon 2a for the x coordinate, and for the y coordinate, it's going to be equivalent to 4ac minus v square upon 4a. Achha, one thing more, these formulas are also given in the formula sheet that I shared with you in the last class.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, moving forward, so you need to know how to factorize this equation. Now, for example, the equation was given x square minus 13x plus 36 is equivalent to 0. So there are three ways of simplifying this equation. One is the quadratic formula, which is minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now you can just simply apply this formula to find out the values of x, and you can simply say there are two values of x, one is this, one is that, and there will be the roots of the equation. Now this is one of the method of solving it, and the second is middle term breaking. So how many of you do know okay how we can directly solve this equation in the calculator? Hassan, can you solve this equation directly in the calculator?
जी सर.
That's it. Anshi, what about you? Can you solve them?
No, I don't know how to use the calculator.
Which calculator do we have right now?
I have the scientific one.
Like which company model? Anshi, what is the company of this calculator? Hello?
Hello, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So I was asking about the company, the manufacturer of the calculator.
Yeah, Casio.
Casio. So do one thing after this class, just Google your calculator or with the model number and figure it
Yeah,
out how to directly solve this equation into your calculator. That is going to save you plenty of time. You
yeah,
don't need to apply any of the method now as the calculator is allowed in the set. You can just simply plug in the values and figure out your answer.
yeah,
Well, otherwise, you can simply do this with middle term breaking. Now, middle term breaking can be applied. The coefficient of x square is 1 and the constant is 36. So you need to multiply these values. 1 into 36 is 36. Now, you need to find out the factor of 36 in such a way that their sum or their difference is equivalent to minus 13. So now I know that 1 into 36 is 36, 2 into 18 is also 36, and just keep on doing it. But I will figure it out here 9 fours is 36, right? So if I simply say minus 9 plus 4, sorry, minus 9 minus 4, this all sum up to minus 13, right? So I can write it as x square minus 13, sorry, minus 13, minus 9x minus 4x plus 36 is equal to 0. From the first two terms, x is a common value. So I can simply say like x minus 9. From the second two terms, 4 is the common term. So you're left with x, and over here we are left with 9 as the sign of the value outside the bracket is negative. So I'm going to simply switch the sign from positive 9, it would become a negative 9. As both the terms are common, I'm going to simply say x minus 9 and x minus 4 is equivalent to 0. Now, you need to remember one thing. Whenever you have got the values inside the bracket, now these are known as your factors. Now, if somebody says no, to factorize the equation, you just need to find out the terms in terms of x minus 9, x minus 4, these are your factors. But once I'm going to say here x minus 9 is equal to 0 and x minus 4 is equal to 0, and I'm going to specifically find out the values of x and y. Now, these are known as your roots. Now, the values of x are your roots. Now, can you tell me what are the roots? हम roots किसे कहते हैं?
X intercepts.
Exactly, x intercept. So for example, I end up with the values of 4 and 9. I know the shape of the graph would be a happy face as the coefficient of a square was positive value, positive 1. So what can I do is I'm going to make a curve like this. And I'm going to say at this particular point is 4 and this specific point is 9. Now these are my roots. Roots are your x-intercepts. Roots are the point when the curve is cutting your x-axis. All right. So any confusion in identifying what are the roots, what are the factors, what is the differentiating thing between roots and the factors? Is it clear?
Yeah.
जी सर.
Nice. Okay. Acha now. Then comes the discriminant. So yeah, what is discriminant? Discriminant is basically b square minus 4ac. इसको कहते हैं discriminant. Acha, what does discriminant help to identify? So the discriminant help to identify the number of roots. If the question asks me to find out the number of roots in a given equation, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply find out the values of discriminant. If b square minus 4ac turns out to be a value which is greater than 0, that means a positive answer. So I'm going to say it is having two roots. So your curve would be cutting the x-axis at two points. So it's going to be either look like this or look like this. It could be a happy face or a sad face, but your curve would be cutting the x-axis at two different points as it has two roots. Now the second one is if b square minus 4ac turns out to be equivalent to 0, that means your equation or the curve has only a single root. Now how does the equation or the curve have a single root? It can only have a single root if the curve is tangent to the x-axis. Like either it's going to look like this or somewhat look like this. All right.
Yeah.
Now the third condition. Instead, they only ask you the number of roots. They don't ask you whether real and equal, distinct, or imaginary. So you simply say again number of roots is 2, 0, 1. If b square minus 4ac is less than 0, that means if the answer turns out to be a negative value, then you have got 0 roots, no roots. Your curve never touches the x-axis. So either it's gonna be rotating upwards or downward, but it won't be touching your x-axis. This is how you find out the number of roots. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the second thing. Now I have just solved this equation, like x square minus 13x plus 36 is equal to 0, and I figured out there are two roots. One is 9 and 4. If somebody asked me to find out the sum of the roots, so if I need to find out the sum of the roots, so I have got two ways to solve it. Number one is I either just simply factorize the entire equation and find out the roots, and whatever is your answer, you simply sum the values and say, yeah, the sum of the roots is equivalent to this. The second, which is a simpler method of solving it, is just apply this formula, which is minus b upon a. That's it. By applying this formula, you calculate the sum of the roots. For example, if I just apply this formula in the given equation, so the value of b was 13, so minus b means minus 13 upon a is 1. So the final answer would be simply a positive 13, right? So if I sum the values, 4 plus 9 is actually equivalent to 13. So instead of doing all this hard work by solving this equation and figuring out the values, x is 9 and 4, I can just simply say r minus b upon a is equivalent to 13, then sum of the roots is also equivalent to 13. That's it. Now the second is product of roots. Now, what is the product of roots? So, the product of root is actually equivalent to Haji. Do you remember the formula to find out the product of roots? Hassan, Anshi,
सर आता था लेकिन मैं भूल गया.
आता तो भूल गया, अब याद कर लो भाई. Let's see over it. ठीक है.
जी सर.
Yeah.
So, अभी if I just multiply 4 over 4 into 9, 4 9 to 36. So I know what the value of C was equivalent to 36 now. 36 over 1. ये answer आ रहा है 36. So sum of roots is equivalent to minus v upon a. The product of roots is equal to c upon a. So just remember all these formulas. And again, these formulas are given in the formula sheet. So once you go through the formula sheet, you will remember all these formulas. ठीक है जी. कोई कंफ्यूजन है
Yeah.
बताओ.
नो
एनी
सर.
कंफ्यूजन till now? सब सही चल रहा है जिंदगी में.
जी.
चलो अच्छी बात है. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट द जनरल फॉर्म ऑफ एन इक्वेशन. अगर जनरल फॉर्म गिवन हो तो तुम क्या चीज किस तरह आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो. ये चीज हमने डिस्कस कर ली. नाउ द सेकंड इज इफ द रूट फॉर्म ऑफ इक्वेशन इज गिवन टू मी. रूट फॉर्म ऑफ एन इक्वेशन. सो व्हाट इज द रूट फॉर्म इक्वेशन? भाई रूट फॉर्म होती है y is equals to a x minus m bracket x minus n. So if the root form of the equation is given to you, so just having the root form equation, how can you identify the the coordinates of the turning point? So how can I do that? Let's see. I know if this A would represent simply the shape of the graph. If A is positive, then the curve is a happy phase. If A is negative, then your curve would be a sad phase. But if I just try to simply draw this on a graph, so what will happen? Now I know this x is equals to m and x is equals to n are my two roots, right? तो मैं कहता हूँ यार एक happy face is going to somewhat look like this, and this is m and this is n, right? Now these are my two roots. But knowing the fact that a curve is a symmetrical figure, so if I just simply draw the line from the center exactly, bisecting the curve into half, so your turning point would exactly lying between m and n, right? So I can
Yeah.
say that the x coordinate this specific this point should be the average of m plus n upon 2. Make sense,
Yeah.
right? Now, just to give a realistic example, let's say I have got an equation which is x minus 2 and it's like x minus 10. Now I need to find out the turning point of this curve. So I know that the curve would be having 2 points there. So x is equals to 2 and x is equals to 10. और ये कर्व इस तरह बनेगा, ये 2 होगा और ये 10 होगा. Now if I need to find out the turning point, the x coordinate of the turning point, so I can simply say here your average would be 10 plus 2 divided by 2, that is 12, and that is 6. So the point, the x coordinate of the center point will be equivalent to 6. So the x coordinate of the turning point is equal to 6. Now, the second phase, I need to find out the y coordinate. So how can I find out the y coordinate? Now for the y coordinate, you will just simply plug in this value of x into the equation. As we know, the equation is always equivalent to y. So I can figure out the value of y. Just 2 minus 2. Oh, sorry, not 2, it has to be 6. So I need to just correct this thing. So this was 6. 6 minus 2, and this again 6 minus 10. 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 10 is minus 4. And your y coordinate of the turning point should be equivalent to minus 16. ठीक है जी, कोई कंफ्यूजन है यहाँ तक?
नो
No,
सर।
sir.
नाइस। सो if the root form equation is given to you, you don't need to worry about anything. You can just simply take out the average of the roots and find out the x coordinate of the turning point. Once you know the x coordinate, just simply plug in that value into the given equation at the place of x and find out the y coordinate of the turning point. This is how you can solve for the root form equation. Now the third form equation, which is known as the vertex form. If the equation is given in the vertex form, which is y is equal to a x minus h to the whole square plus k. Now this is how a vertex form is written. Again, A represents the shape of the graph. A positive है तो happy face, A negative है, then you're gonna have a sad face. Now this is the only form of the equation in which, if you just look at the equation, you can tell the coordinates of your turning point. So the coordinates of the turning point are simply h comma k. H is your x coordinate and k is your y coordinate. Remember one thing, whatever is the sign of the value is inside the bracket, you're always gonna switch the sign. If it was minus h, so I have written it as h comma k, right? So just to give an example, y is equal to x minus 7 to the whole square plus 9. Now, can you tell me the turning point of this equation?
7 and 9.
Exactly. So it's going to be 7 and 9. But you need to remember one thing. This is only applicable if the coefficient of the equation is simply 1. You need to make sure this value is always equal to 1. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Now there's another form which says क्या होगा?
3 and 12.
Was it be a positive 3 or negative 3?
-3.
Yeah, minus 3 comma 12. All right. So यहाँ तक सबको समझ आया?
जी सर।
Yeah, sir.
चलो अगर क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शन का पीडीएफ आप लोगों से शेयर कर रहा हूँ. चलिए, the handout has been shared with both of you. Start solving the questions. ठीक है. जहाँ पे कोई मसला हो छोड़ देना, आगे चले जाना. जब सारे अटेम्प्ट कर लो फिर मुझे मैसेज कर देना डन. उसके बाद मैं तमाम क्वेश्चन आप लोगों के साथ डिस्कस करूंगा. सही है.
जी सर।
अंशी, did you receive the PDF?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So just start solving it. Once you are done, just let me know. And afterwards, I'm going to discuss all the questions. Sure. और सवालों को स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक दफ़ा जो फॉर्मूला शीट थी ना, उसमें जो क्वाड्रिक फंक्शंस के फॉर्म कॉन्सेप्ट्स है ना, उसको एक दफ़ा गो थ्रू कर लो. मैं ज़्यादा बेहतर आइडिया हो जाएगा. अच्छा जी. सो हाँ, असल तुम्हें इशू आ रहा है क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 में, राइट?
जी सर।
सो अशन इसमें करना सिंपल सा था कि तुम्हें ना you just need to verify कि यार which of the following could be the equation of the line. मुझे यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा है कि it two values of x. There are two roots of x. Number one is 1 and the second is 5. And at these specific values, मेरे पास जो मेरे पास जो y coordinate होगा ना at this point y coordinate is equals to 0. ऐसा ही है.
जी
यहाँ
सर।
भी 0 है और अच्छा just by looking at the vertices मैं बता सकता हूँ कि either A should be your answer or either C should be your answer. ऐसा ही है. Because x
जी
coordinate of the turning point was 3 comma minus 8, तो मैं bracket में डाल दूंगा, so it has to be minus 3. So either it's going to be A or C. So now what you just need to do is you just need to verify that either in equation number A or equation number C, if I plug in the value of x is equals to 1, the answer is 0. And I need to again check if I plug in the value of x is equals to 5, the answer should be also equivalent to 0. The one which satisfy both these values will be our answer. So see, if I just simply plug in the value of x is equals to 1, तो अभी क्या होगा? So 1 minus 3 to the whole square minus 8. So this is going to be equivalent to 2. 2 plus square is 4. 4 minus 8. The answer is not coming to be 0. So ये तो answer नहीं हो सकता. Now, if I apply the same condition equation number C, तो क्या करते हैं देखते हैं. This is going to be equivalent to 2. 2 plus square is 4. 4 to the 8. 8 minus 8. The answer is, yeah, exactly it is equivalent to 0. Now, once you are done with x is equal to 1, again, if you wanted to check, you can do it with 5 as well. But यहाँ पे ये तो cancel out हो गया. So you're only left with C. So C is the correct answer in this case.
जी सर।
जी अंशी समझ आ गई आपको भी?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So after question number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all clear till now? Now, Anshi, are you not able to solve question number 13 and 14, right?
Yeah, sir.
Oh. So there's a question number 13 says y is equal to a bracket x minus 3 and x minus k in the equation, for equation number a and k are the constant in the graph of the equation. The xy plane is a parabola with vertices 5 comma minus 32. What is the value of a? Okay, so can you tell me which form of the equation is this? It's a general form, is it the root form or the vertex form? Anji, Anji, can you tell me out of the three forms of the equation that we have studied today, which one is given in the question?
The root form.
Exactly the root form. Now, I know the root forms the average of x, which is in this case is x equals to 3 and x is equal to k, will be equivalent to the x coordinate of your turning point, right? So the average means 3 plus k divided by 2 should be equivalent to the x coordinate of the turning point, which is given to be 5. Is it correct?
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
goes on the right hand side, turns out to be a 10. And if I just simply subtract 3 from uh, 10, the answer is 7. So this is the value of k. So
Yeah.
by simply solving it, I have figured out the value of k, and now I can rewrite this equation in the form of y is equal to a x minus 3 bracket x minus
Minus 7.
now. Now the second phase of my question is I need to find out the value of a. And then see, I know this is the coordinates of my vertex, right? So this point lies on my curve.
Yeah.
So now I can just simply write the value of y is equivalent to minus 32 and the value of x is 5. When the x was 5, the answer was y was 32, right? So I'm going to simply plug in these values and then solve it. So now this is going to be equivalent to 2 and this is equivalent to a minus 2. Uh, that is totally equivalent to minus 4a. Minus minus gets cancelled out. A is equivalent to 8. And that's it. This is your answer.
Yeah.
So I'll say this is how you can solve this question. हाँ हाँ सर, नसर तुम्हें 8 के अलावा कोई और मसला था?
नहीं सर।
सब अच्छा चल रहा था?
जी सर।
चलो. Now moving forward to question number 14. In the xy plane, the line y is equal to ax plus b intersects the parabola y is equal to x square plus bx plus 5 at the points 3 comma 5 3 comma k. If b is a constant, what is the value of k? Okay. The line y is equal to, so basically if they are intersecting, then at the given point 3 comma k, if b is a constant, what is the value of? Okay. So what we're gonna do is when the two lines are intersecting, can I just simultaneously solve them? And that is
Yeah.
ax b is equals to x square plus bx plus 5, right? Now in this
Yeah.
equation, I'm left with variables x and b. I know the x is having a value of 3. So instead of x, I can just simply replace them with 3. Now this is 6 plus b is equivalent to 9 plus 3b plus 5. Shifting this on this side, shifting this on that side. This is 14. And the Maya side, this 2b. Oh, yeah, 6 here. So shifting this. So now you guys figured out that b is equal to, this was -8 to -4 हो जाएगा. ठीक है. So मैंने b की वैल्यू फाइंड आउट कर ली. B is equals to -4, but I need to find out the value of k. So if I just simply plug in this value, k is equals to 2x, which is 3, plus b. b कितना है? -4 है. सही है. So k is equal to 6 minus 4. k किसके बराबर हो गया? k is equal to, ठीक है जी. कंफ्यूजन क्लियर है यहाँ तक?
Yeah, sir.
ओके, गुड है. अच्छा, so I'm gonna just share some extra questions to solve for the quadratic function, जो आप लोग एज अ प्रैक्टिस सॉल्व करोगे. अच्छा हसन, मुझे
Yeah.
एक बात बताओ कि आप थर्सडे की शाम 10 बजे, यानी कि रात 10 बजे पाकिस्तान टाइम क्या कर रहे होते? क्लास होती है कोई?
थर्सडे को सर मेरी क्लास शायद होती है, लेकिन वो 10 बजे नहीं होता है।
नहीं
अ,
होती ना? तो
जी।
तुम थर्सडे की क्लास ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, क्योंकि मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि हम ना वीक में 3-3 क्लासेस करके इसको खत्म करें.
ठीक है सर, मैं ज्वाइन कर लूँ।
कर लोगे? बस ठीक हो गया. सो आज हमने क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शंस किए. नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम गोना स्टार्ट विद द फंक्शंस, जो कि फंक्शन है. उसके बाद सिंथेटिक डिवीजन और ये वाले जो छोटे छोटे टॉपिक्स रहेंगे, इनको कंप्लीट करके सेट का कोर्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगा सर तुम्हारे लिए. बाकी एनसी आपका तो चलता रहेगा.
Yeah, sir.
ठीक है. ठीक है. तो अभी तक
Yeah.
जितना तुम लोगों ने पढ़ा है समझ आया? मतलब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द एंटायर कोर्स फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट क्लास टिल नाउ. कोई कंफ्यूजन है, कोई मसला है तो बताओ.
नहीं सर।
No, sir.
अच्छा अंशी, फॉर द एडिशनल प्रैक्टिस यू कैन सर्च फॉर एसएटी क्वेश्चन बैंक. ठीक है. और जो जो टॉपिक्स हमने डिस्कस कर लिए हैं ना, नंबर ऑफ टॉपिक्स दैट वी हैव कवर्ड, उनसे रिलेटेड एडिशनल प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो.
Yeah, sir.
ठीक है, ताकि आप लोगों का मसला हल हो जाए. I'm just gonna share the quadratic. और सेकंड थिंग, कैलकुलेटर का यूज ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा करो. सही है. सो जो भी आपके पास मॉडल्स ऑफ कैलकुलेटर हैं, उनकी गूगल के ऊपर, यूट्यूब पे सर्च करके देखो किस तरह क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शन सॉल्व कर सकते हो, या डेरिवेशंस जो हैं, मतलब डेरिवेशन तो खैर आपको नहीं करनी होती. लीनियर इक्वेशन किस तरह सॉल्व कर सकते हैं साइमल्टेनियस, और क्वाड्रेटिक फंक्शंस कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, ये चीजें सर्च करो. So let's. I've shared the practice question with both of you with the answer key as well, ताकि आप जब उसको सेपरेटली सॉल्व कर रहे हो इंडिविजुअली तो आप उसके आंसर्स को चेक कर सकें. ठीक है जी. So that's it for today. We have completed this topic of quadratic functions. Inshallah, let's see both of you guys on Wednesday. Inshallah at 10 p.m. and then continue our class.
Yes, sir.
जी सर. अल्लाह हाफिज.
Allah